Hello everyone, and welcome to So Many Games with Little Time. My name is Joachim, and today we're going to play a game, and the game is called What Did I Do With It? So, what is it all about? I have games, right? And of those games, I did 3 possible things. All of them are in a certain stage right now, okay? So, either I bought the game, sold the game, bought it again, sold it again. So that's the first option. I sold it. Second is I bought the game, I sold it, I bought it again. So I still own it. So sold it or own it. And the third option is I bought it and then I bought it again. So either I own it, I sold it, or I own it twice. Those are the options. So you'll be able to guess, and then you tell me at the end of the game how many points you had. Depending on, I will honestly tell you what I think about the game in general, and then or just talk about the game a little bit, and then you'll be able to guess what it is. But I'll immediately give you the answer. All right. So those are the rules. You tell me, I give you some time to give your answer, but then you'll see it on screen. So it's either going to be, I sold it, but I lost it. I sold it. I still own it, or I own 2 copies. Okay. Okay. Here we go. The first one. Tales of the Arabian Nights. Did I sell it? Do I still own it? Or do I have 2 copies? 1, 2. Let me show you the board as well. 3. I sold it. I bought it. I sold it. I bought it. I sold it. A really cool game, but if you play it too often, it gets really repetitive. So if you like adventures and you don't really care about consistency, I guess, because it's completely random, then it's cool because you can choose like different reactions to different stories. That's all very, very cool. I don't know if I actually have an example. These are the entries, of course, the Book of Tales. But then you also have these here. So here you have the encounter reaction choices. So when you have a certain encounter, you can choose what you do. For example, if it's B, you can choose to grovel, to aid, to rob, to avoid, to bargain, attack, court, trick, hire. So there might be something like an old lady, right? Then you're going to attack the old lady or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Just some really silly stuff. And on the right side, you have all these skills that you can get throughout the game. So it's a cool game. It is, but it lacked structure. That's why I backed Agents of Smirch, because apparently that's very similar, but it has really a storyline, right? So yeah, anyway, really cool game, but I got tired of it. I was able to predict outcomes and everything, so yeah, that's why I got rid of it. Lords of Xidit. What do you think? Do you think I sold it, I kept it, or I have 2 copies? What do you think? So 3, looking for a better picture here. 2, 1, and I have sold it. It's also a really good game. Like if I was able to play it now, I would, but it's 3 to 5, and it was difficult back then to get 3 people. Like I bought it, I sold it, I bought it, I sold it. I bought it again because I liked it so much, but then I kind of lost the gaming group at one point, and then I thought, it's so difficult. 3 to 5 games have to either have a solo option or at least 2, because then I come to the table faster. But 3 to 5, very difficult. But what's cool about this is you have a program. You can see the border at the bottom, and basically you will program yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps in the future. So you can see it's an action. You can either choose actions or roads that you're following along, and then you're trying to defeat monsters that appear. Those are the white discs here, or recruit people. Those are the guys you see everywhere, or put towers out and so on. So really beautiful game. Same world as Seasons, but yeah, I don't have it. I can actually see myself owning that again somewhere in the future, but yeah, I sold it. Next one is Jamaica. Now this is the newest version, the cover, but I have the old version. I mean, I had it back then, or I have it now, or whatever. What do you think? Do you think I sold it, I own it, or I have 2 copies? What is it? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I misspoke. I still own it, but I only have 1 copy. I used to have it. I sold it when I had to cull board games, and then I bought it again because I could play with my students, honestly, or with more people, but it's a bit too light for me, so I like to play with my students now. All right, 3 more to go. I'm going to go a little bit faster. Set a watch. So here we have set a watch. What do you think? Do you think I own it, I sold it, or I own it twice? So 3, 2, 1. I think this is a better overview, probably. Kind of, yeah. All right, so I own it twice. I have 1 copy in Belgium and 1 copy here. I bought it again because it was a Kickstarter and it had a deluxified version and everything. I actually have a deluxified upgrade here behind me somewhere that I'm going to take back to Belgium one day and then upgrade my copy there. Why do I have 2 copies? Because of the Kickstarter, but also because it is so much fun to play solo. So if I'm over there, I can just quickly do a game and it's perfect. So yeah, set a watch. Basically, you have the campfire here on the left, and these monsters are trying to attack the campfire. So you have your 4 people who have to work together to defeat the monsters, right? So if you when you do it like this, 1 person will always be in the at the fire keeping watch, right? And the other 3 are out in the open fighting. So it's not easy. There's a bunch of videos on the channel if you want to see how it works. Really works, but it's really cool. Next one is mountain goats. So mountain goats, do I own it? Have I sold it? Or do I own it twice? So here's an example of mountain goats. 1, 2, 3. I own it twice. I have 1 copy in Belgium from the Kickstarter and then 1 that I bought here. And the irony is I've played it 0 times, but I've seen other people play it and they all love it. But I haven't played it yet because I either lend it out or I teach it to my students and they play. So yeah, it is what it is. But a really cool game, apparently. You roll the dice. You have 4 dice here, right? That you can see. And you roll them, and then the total number you have to choose, like not the total number, but you can put dice together. For example, here the 5 and 2 would be a 7. That means your goat could go up 1 spot on the 7 track. Or if you do the 5 and the 3, that would be 8, go up 1 spot on the 8. Or 5, 3, 2, which is 10, go up 1 spot on the 10. Now, the cool part is goats can be on the same spot everywhere except the final spot. So if you go on the final spot and there's someone there, you kick them back to the beginning. And if you roll the number and you're already there, then you get the points, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, it's just like constantly trying to kick each other off. And if you have a certain amount of points, then you win. I mean, not a certain amount of points, a certain amount of points at the end of the rows are gone, then you win. So it's very simple. It's a little bit strategic and of course a lot of luck, depending on what you roll. But yeah, I have those 2 copies of that. And then the last one, The Mind. So The Mind, what do you think? Did I buy it and sold it, so I no longer have it? Did I buy it, sold it, and bought it, so I still have it? Or did I buy 2 copies? Which one is it for The Mind? 3, 2, 1. I have 2 copies. 1 in English and 1 in Dutch. The irony is the English one is in Belgium and the Dutch one is here. I accidentally took the wrong one back here. And I've also only played it once. Because I always thought, okay, I can play with these people, but then it never actually happened. So now I have these 2 copies of The Mind and only played it 1 time. Anyway, that's it. Those were 15 games where you had to guess if I still have it or not, or bought it and bought it again. So I wanted to say I've had to cull, so basically sell games twice in my life. One was when I moved from Belgium to here. I kept some of them, obviously, but not a lot. And then another time here when I moved from my single flat to the bedroom of my wife. And then after selling those, then we lived together for a while, and then bought an apartment. Well, rented an apartment, and then I had more space, and then the collection grew again. So yeah, that's the reason. And I was also going to say which ones did I have that I ended up not buying again. Some examples are, one of them is Smash Up. I had so much of Smash Up, and I really liked the game as well. But it takes up so much space if you have the expansions and everything, and the box was not Calyx friendly. So in the end, I decided not to do it. But basically, in Smash Up, you, for example, here, you smash up with zombie dinosaurs. So you have one deck that's zombie, one deck's that dinosaurs. You put them together, and then you play. You try to destroy bases in the middle of the table together with other people and so on. But everybody will have a faction with two factions, and just put them together. So really cool game. But to buy everything again, I just didn't want to. So that's Smash Up. Another game that I had sold but then didn't buy it again. There's multiple ones, but I'm looking for those that had the most amount of plays. I'm checking my BG stats here. So another one was XCOM. I don't know if it's gonna find like this. Yeah, XCOM the board game, which I really liked as well. And I actually kind of want it back, but it was difficult to find at one point. And yeah, maybe one day I'll get it again because it's a really good co-op, and then with the app, it works really well. But so far I haven't bought it yet. Yeah, maybe also because of COVID and it's difficult to get a really good group together. But I remember how good it was, how cool it was to actually win, because every person has their role, and there is not much room for alpha gaming because everyone has their specific things to do. So yeah, you can also play it solo, but you have to do all this stuff, and there's time limits, and it's a challenge. It can also be very difficult. So that was XCOM. Another one that I sold, but since then have not bought again, is, where is it here? Oh yeah, that I thought about it multiple times, is Roll for the Galaxy. So not Race for the Galaxy, but Roll for the Galaxy. Because I always really liked that as well. But I don't know, it's something has always stopped me, even though people have told me that when you buy Ambition, the expansion, it gets even better, and I already liked the original game anyway. Yeah, just so many cool dice, and then of course you roll them, you see what you get, and then with your result you can do certain actions, and it's just really cool. Wow, nice art piece. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's I kind of want it again, but I don't at the same time, because I already have so many games. Is it good enough to come back? Basically, that's always the question you have to ask, especially after culling so much. Yeah, those have been mostly on top of maybe I want to buy it again, maybe not. Okay, so that was the third quiz at the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and next time will be a different type of quiz. I have no idea what yet, but we'll see. Be subscribed, like, comment if you like it or want to see changes or whatever. All right? Okay. Thanks. This is Joachim. So many games all the time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.